Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So it's time for another one of those episodes of party management. So last time I did some work, well, we finished Kashyyyk and I've done some work on my current lightsabers. Now let's see, who has these things equipped? Oh, don't these have... Oh, those things have nothing. I'm not using Canderous, so let's get the blasters. I think Karth is using both of these. Zalbar, I don't really care about Zalbar, but I guess I'll upgrade these. Oh, I guess I do have enough to fully upgrade all of these. Nice. Okay. What about melee? There's Bacchus Ceremonial Blades. Sure. Missions Vibro Blades. Prototype. Yeah, I can't finish the prototype. And here you have the Mandalorian Assault Armor. Why don't I have these upgraded? I was pretty sure I had all of them fully upgraded. Guess I'll add these. Maybe not. I think this is probably enough. Now I would upgrade the lightsabers, but I'm not sure which one. I wanted to give Jolie that crystal that improves the force point regeneration, but I'm not sure which one it is. So let's speak with Canderous.
Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements.
What was your story?
I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with the basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle.
I didn't think Mandalorians got afraid.
Every new warrior has to fear to understand how to beat it. You must know that. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below.
You dropped from orbit riding a droid?
The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life.
That was some fight.
I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know?
Nothing more for now.
Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right. Yeah, what do you...
Anything else? I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
You want another war story, huh? You want to hear about some other world getting wasted, eh? I knew you were the type. Your stagnant republic has never seen some of the strange creatures and races we fought on the Outer Rim in those years. And you never will now.
What do you mean?
If a world isn't strong enough to defend itself, it's basically forfeit. But this story is about something a little different. We were going through the asteroid fields of the Crispin system at the very edge of the galaxy, playing with the pirates and smugglers we found there. The main belt in the Crispin system consists of mainly small rocks covered in frozen methane gas shells, and the pirates were using them for cover. Ha! I remember using a thermal generator to cause the outer layer of one of the asteroids to vaporize in a picosecond. It blew out and shredded the 3 smugglers using it for cover. But that was a mistake.
Did it backfire?
The asteroid I had targeted was smaller than most, maybe a dozen meters on a side. On the outside, it looked the same as any other, just a ball covered in frozen gas. But something must have been inside it, something inactive, in the cold. The heat of my blast might have triggered something, or woken something up. After I'd hit it, spots of light and heat appeared all over the thin shell, still covering it, evaporating the gases. What lay underneath looked like some sort of rocky growth. A deformed rock, pitted by scores of micrometeorite scars. I think something even older might have been inside that.
An asteroid?
Maybe, but maybe not. It started rotating faster and faster as we watched it. After a second, it started spraying fire, thermal projectiles that melted our armor like wax. We were caught completely by surprise. Before we could counterattack, it fled at an incredible speed.
A ship?
We couldn't catch it, but we could follow its hyperspace wake. We followed its trail as far as we could, heading away from the galactic core. When it finally led beyond the edge of our galaxy, we abandoned our efforts. Anything that wants to commit suicide in that great void is not worth our trouble trying to catch. That's the only story I have for now. I'll tell you some more stuff later if we get the chance. Is there something else you want to know?
Nope, I'm good. Any new stories?
I don't have as many strange stories like the last one I told you, but I do have a couple about me and the stuff I've done. In one battle above the world of Althir, my unit managed to defeat a force of Althiri 10 times our own size. That battle gained me command of an entire subsect of my clan.
Tell me the story.
For 5 days they had managed to hold off our forces, keeping us to the outer rings of their world, preventing us from attacking it directly. My task was to assault one of their flanks with a false attack. The Althiri would be drawn out by the units I had sent in. Once they had surrounded those units, the bulk of my forces would attack from the rear and defeat them in detail.
Ah, did it work?
Things didn't go as I had planned. I saw an opening, a mistake they had made in the disposition of their forces, and took it. While fending off our main force, they had let their fleet split in two. The center of their entire fleet was left exposed. I turned my forces and assaulted the center of their fleet, decimating them.
What did they do?
Their slow, ponderous ship could not turn to face us without being overwhelmed. The command vessels were destroyed in seconds. Their ranks were thrown into chaos. It was amusing to watch the surviving ships scatter and flee. Several even tried to dive through the plane of the rings to escape us. They were shredded by the rings, or crashed into rocks, or were destroyed by our forces as we pursued them. Warriors do not flee from a battle if they are losing. They fight to the end, as we did against your Jedi Revan. Another time, maybe, I'll tell you about how the war with the Republic went. For now, let's just get on with things. Is there something...
Any news stories?
Yeah, what do you...
No. Okay, story time with Candaris is over. Oh, we still have Sasha here. So gotta go to Dantooine to deliver her. In the meantime... Can you construct a programming spike for me? Oh, can't make another one just yet. Hey there, Zalbar. Is there something you want? Ah, nothing. Zalbar is not very interesting.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Tell me more about your past.
Well, I suppose I have not talked very much about the Jedi I met back home. They, all of them, were so very invigorating.
Invigorating?
They were so very alive, so full of hope and energy and zeal. In retrospect, I can see it was a little bit tragic.
What do you mean?
Those Jedi were going to fight the Mandalorians just after they had invaded. Many of those Jedi perished in the fighting, but to us, they seemed invincible. Especially their leader, who they talked about all the time. Paragons of light and justice, sweeping away all iniquity before them. It was like looking at gods.
The Jedi are not gods.
I know that. I was using poetic license. But those Jedi, they were enthralling. Everyone wanted just to touch them. Some people thought it would bring them luck. Not that the peace they brought lasted very long.
Did they leave?
Of course they left. They had a war to go fight, so that we would not all be killed by those psychotic Mandalorians. The Jedi left. The people grew complacent. Those who had been wronged saw their chance at revenge. And so the cycle continues. The oppressed become the new generation of oppressors. The human oppressed, that is. The non-humans were never treated well in any case. We felt the brunt of both administrations.
Was it that bad?
Of course it was. They took their frustrations and hate out on us, because the people they wanted had already fled, or were too well protected. But no one looks out for the injustices we suffered. Oh no, But I am sorry. I should not have outbursts like that.
As long as you do not let your anger influence you.
Don't you see? The very fact I mentioned it means it has its influence. Anger can lead to the dark side, and I must be ever careful that I do not fall back into those ways. I thank you for your support. My outburst was uncalled for. But you did not lash back at me. You are a much better Jedi than I, it would seem. But let us not speak more of this now. We should continue on our journey. Perhaps later we will talk again. Yes.
Something wrong?
I have been bothered by something of late.
What is it?
I never told you where I came from, did I? Where I grew up as a child? I suppose I was trying to deny what I was feeling.
What?
I have been wrestling with my feelings inside. Trying to come to terms with it, but I find I cannot. I must have someone to blame. Someone to blame for the destruction of my homeworld. Someone who is responsible for the death of everyone I have ever known, except those on Dantooine.
You mean...
Taris. It was Taris that the Sith destroyed to try to kill you and your precious Bastila. Taris, my homeworld.
I'm sorry, Juhani. I did not know.
If it were not for you and Bastila, the Sith would have never had reason to destroy that world. It was your fault for being there, and your fault for rescuing Bastila. Without your intervention, the Sith would have had no cause to lay waste to my childhood.
But...
Just let me vent my anger. I need someone to blame. Something. Anything. I hated that world. Yet everything I learned as a child, I learned there. It is as much a part of me as the air I breathe. I have this ache inside me, where all my childhood memories lay, and I find your face there with them. If it was not for you, that world would still exist.
I'm sorry, Juhani. There was no way to prevent it.
I know. I suppose I realized that. But it is so hard to lose your entire past. You would not understand.
It'll be all right, Juhani.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it will. As long as we remain focused on our task, it will. I am sorry. I will try not to distract you in the future with my trivial experiences. We should stop for now.
Anything else? Is something wrong?
I was remembering Taris.
What about it?
It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated. Living for years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor.
And those rat ghouls.
There was always the danger of rat ghouls coming up from the sewers, or more mundane predators living and working in the area. My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford.
Was it that bad?
With no money to spare for any amenities, even the enclave on Dantooine seems a paradise in comparison. And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived, and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human.
Like who?
The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order. The one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians. She was human. I am sorry. I am getting away from my point. If there even was one. Sometimes, I curse the day my parents fled to Taris. But then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today.
Fled? Fled from where?
Another story, for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic. To save the galaxy, if we can.
Are we done here?
How may I be of
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
What are you thinking about?
I have been thinking much about our journey, and I am grateful and honored that you have accepted me with you. I am not used to such unbiased acceptance from one who is nearly a stranger to me. We KOTOR do not make friends easily, or for long. Even on Dantooine I remained alone. Not ostracized exactly, but separate.
Tell me about your people.
In truth, I have lived in the Republic too long, and I know little. I never met any others of my race other than my parents. But we are not diplomats. We do not deal well with groups. This situation is new to me. It is warming. I feel almost welcome. Needed. You seem to be very decisive when it is required of you. It is reassuring to know that I can count on someone like you.
We are all in this together.
Yes, and that is my point. I find it difficult to explain. It is so different from what I am used to. Just thank you for accepting me. How may I be?
So I don't think there's anything more, story related with Juhani. So let's move on to mission.
Hey there, what can I do for you?
I want to talk to you about your brother.
Don't worry. I won't let the search for Griff get...
Oh, there's
Hey there.
nothing else? I guess not. Cool. Well, that was quick. Let's see, I believe Jolie... Where is Jolie? Well, I'll hunt him down later.
How can I help?
I'd like to know more about you, Basila.
Yes, I suppose I can understand your curiosity, given the bond that connects us. Very well. I'll tell you a bit about myself.
Tell me how you joined the Jedi then.
I was found to be strong with the Force at a young age, as most Padawans are. As a girl, I was given to the Order to be trained. When I joined the Order, I left my family on Tal Ravan, as all Padawans do. My family is still there, the last that I heard. I've had little contact with them, as it is discouraged.
Discouraged? Why?
Relationships with family members are fraught with powerful emotions. Such extremes are to be avoided. Anger and hate are the worst, but even love can lead to folly.
You aren't allowed to love?
Emotional entanglements can be dangerous. They can impair rational thought. They can lead to outbursts of uncontrolled emotion. A Jedi must be above such things.
You don't sound very convinced.
It can be a hard lesson to learn. I was not on good terms with all of my family, but I do remember missing my father terribly for a long time.
Who weren't you on good terms with?
I was not on good terms with my mother. I was only a little girl when I left, but I was old enough to resent her and the way she treated my father. She pushed my father into treasure hunting. I spent all my young life on ships, traveling from one false lead to the next. She whittled away my father's entire fortune, and I hated her for it. I think she was relieved to give me to the Jedi, but my father was heartbroken.
You never tried to get in touch with your father again?
A child is too young to understand the sacrifices that must be made. It's better if they have no contact with their family once they're removed. Once I was older, I realized the wisdom of this policy. A Jedi must do what is needed, personal desires notwithstanding. Love can only obscure and confuse the matter.
You sound very sad when you say that.
Even a Jedi cannot always control the feelings of the heart. We must do our best to guard against it, no matter what the cost. But some sacrifices are harder than others. I do not wish to discuss this anymore. I would rather return to our mission. How can I help?
Nothing else here. Okay, so your turn, Karth.
Yes, what's on your mind?
We didn't end our last discussion very well.
I'm not very good at this. I know I owe you an apology. More than one, probably. I was just so desperate to finally face Saul directly in the battle over Terrace. And now the Jedi have us looking for these star maps. I know this mission is important, it's just, I feel a bit useless. I mean, I can fight, sure, but I'm no Jedi. All this feels completely out of my league.
Why don't you return to the front lines then?
Because this is more important. This may really finally make a difference. I suppose even if I can't figure out everything that's going on, I still want to help if I can. I just hate not knowing what's going on and feeling this helpless. But I shouldn't have taken that out on you. I've been a royal pain in the backside, haven't I?
You sure have.
Well, I guess I should be at least a little pleased that I haven't lost my touch. So, I'm sorry. Will you accept my apology?
Only if you agree to work with me for once.
Done. Let's get underway then, shall we, partner? Yes, what's on your mind?
Okay. We're almost done. Just have to hunt down Mr. Bindo. I was pretty sure he should be in this room. I guess I was wrong. Now, where would an old Jedi hide? Not here. There's Canderous. There's the exit. And there's mission. Really? What? Nah, he should... I was so sure he was on this room. That's odd. Okay, let's head to Dantooine. We can just skip this. Oh, I believe we are being hunted by enemy ships. Yep. Time for more turreting. Yes, Karth, I can see them. Only one left, I think. There we go. Back to Dantooine. Where the hell is Jolie? He's in my party. Who are you?
Excuse me, have you seen a mechanic about? Short fellow, bald. I've been looking...
Well, I'll be a Wookiee's uncle. Davin Coatress?
Jolie? Jolie Pinto? Why, you old freak. Last time I saw you, you were still wandering the galaxy in that old tug. I thought you were dead, old man.
I crashed somewhere and decided to stay.
Yeah, I'll just bet. Damn, old man, you look exactly the same as the last time I saw you. You pickle well.
You're too kind. Not the young lad anymore yourself, I see.
Care to introduce your friend, Jolie?
What are you, deaf? His name's Davin. Old friend from my wanderer days. By the by, Davin, I really should be running off.
Of course, old man. Oh, wait. If you've been traveling in this sector, I suppose you heard about Sunry?
No, why? What's there to hear?
He's been picked up by the Selkath authorities on Manan for murder.
That's preposterous.
I know. Laura is beside herself, as you can imagine. Maybe you could help them. I'm sure Sunray would appreciate a Jedi's assistance right about now.
Perhaps I will at that. It's up to my friend here, actually. I'm just tagging along.
We could check into it when we're on Manan next.
I'd appreciate that. Sunry's an old friend. I'd hate to see him hurt.
Same here. Well, it was good to see you again. Give my regards to Alora if you see her.
I will. Be safe, old friend.
Okay, I want to do something. Jolie, I want you to have... Well, there's only one green lightsaber. Actually, give me Juhani. I think she has another green one. I want to make sure I give... Yeah, she has a green one. So, do not equip that one. I want to make sure I upgrade Jolie's instead of the other one.
Yes?
Anyway, hello, Lur Arcasulas. Greetings, Sentient. May I take a moment of your time for a question? Go ahead. I represent a human citizen of Dantooine by the name of Vrundil Otsulem. His ranch has had considerable difficulty with Mandalorian raiders for many years. His young daughter was kidnapped by those raiders many years ago and has not been returned. Might you have news of her? Her name is Sasha. Didn't we have this conversation before? There is a stowaway on my ship by the name of Sasha. This is most exciting news, Sentient. Are you certain of this? You can come on board and see her if you like. I do not make it a habit to board the vessels of strange humans, but I might make an exception this once. Are you certain the human is Sasha? Yes, I am. She only speaks a smattering of Mandalorian, but I was able to figure it out. You have convinced me, Sentient, that your stowaway is indeed the one I seek. Would you allow me to see her? Dude, I already told you you could come on the ship and take a look. Certainly, I'll bring you to my ship. Let us go there now. I am most anxious to see her. Though you have aged, young sentient, I do believe you are indeed the one I seek. I am here to return you to your father. I see that Spanner was correct about your linguistic difficulties. I am positive that your parents can assist you with that. Calm yourself, child. I will take you home. Thank you for your assistance, Sentience. I am sure the girl's parents will be the most appreciative of your efforts. Don't I get a reward? Okay. Well, one last thing to worry about. Now, is Jolie actually here or not? Really? Am I just blind and can't see him? Are all Jedi invisible for some reason? Here's Juhani. There is no other compartments in... Oh, wait. Haha! It's not that room, it's this room. Okay, so we'll speak with him next episode, since I have to end this one right now. So, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed another episode of Knights of the Old Republic, and I'll see you all next time.